Hey, I'm Kyle, and this is the Movie Spreadsheet, where I review, rate, and rank movies based off some simple criteria. If you want to learn more about those categories, check out the introduction linked in the description below. Let's talk about Death of a Unicorn. This video contains spoilers, so if you're looking for something spoiler-free, this isn't it. But check out this sweet graphic below. Now what this graphic is going to show you are those key points on the spreadsheet. And I've arranged it this way instead of on one of the sides so that we can have like graphics in cool images that show what Death of a Unicorn needs to be in different portions of the spreadsheet. So to get into that top thirds, it needs to be better than a 4.9, which is currently Poor Things. It needs to be better than a 5.99 to be above average, which is John Carter. And it needs to be better than a 7.55 to beat out Baggio and be in that top third. Can Death of a Unicorn do that? All right, here we go. All right, so I'm pretty pumped to talk about Death of a Unicorn now. I got 4 categories I want to go over. And then after those 4 categories, I got an overall score, a ranking. I'll place it on this little graph below. And I will give you my top 5 creatures that appear in movies that I would want to befriend. So let's talk about the entertainment score. 8 out of 10. Nice work by Death of a Unicorn to be entertaining, which is the point. The whole reason why I want to watch movies is to be entertained. This movie has that entertainment value. It's something original. I like the way that the acts shift just as the plot starts to get a bit stale. Boom, the next thing happens and it takes a good turn. Big fan of that. And I like the way they wove in the unicorn tapestry into the story. Love when this happens. Now, achievement goal, 6.5 out of 10. For me, it wasn't in that 7, 8, 9 good range. It wasn't in that 3 or that 4, 5, 6 okay range. I just put it as a 6.5. I didn't particularly find it scary. I didn't really find it funny. It was just a solid movie, and 6.5 being above average score is a solid score for achievement goal. And again, good job switching it up and changing those stories in the middle to make it move from act to act. Finally, I don't know why I said finally because I have 2 more categories. Ending, 4 out of 10. This movie kind of felt like a horror ending in which we just got to wrap everything up. We know the unicorns are going to have to murder a bunch of people. We know that most likely Paul Rudd and his daughter are going to survive the unicorns. And finally, for length, we have a 9 out of 10. Hour and 40-minute runtime. Yes, I love that. Awesome job there. Making this movie number 153 on the movie spreadsheet with an overall score of 6.875. So how does that stack up on this list right now? As you can see it, popped it. You can see it moving now or being placed in its correct location. It's either here or here. Don't exactly know where. It's above average, not quite in the top third. If you're looking for something pretty quick to watch, I don't think you'll really regret this. I was a fan of it. But will the unicorns in this movie make my top 5 creatures I'd want to befriend list? Let's find out. Everybody loves a good top 10, top 5 list. Maybe not everybody, but I know I do. So let's talk about the top 5 creatures and in order how I chose these top 5 creatures. Here's my criteria, because obviously as a teacher, I love making arbitrary criteria that everybody has to follow for no reason. Just kidding. I don't like that. Criteria number 1 is that this animal or this creature, this creature must show a willingness to be friendly towards humans or a human at some point. Therefore, I couldn't choose one of the dragons from Reign of Fire because they've shown no willingness to be friendly towards humans. Number 2, watch Reign of Fire. Number 2, this must be a movie. So I can't choose Vhagar from Game of Thrones because it's not a movie. Number 3, it cannot be animated. So I can't choose Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And finally, the 4th one, I love saying finally when I have more than one more left, but penultimately, I've used penultimately again, Megs. Boom. This needs to be of Earth. So I can't choose any kind of space dragons that may exist out there. Although, I think honestly, if I had to choose something not of Earth, it'd be Sonic. But finally, ultimately, I can't look anything up. This is just from all knowledge that I possess. So let's go. Number 5 in order. Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. It's freaking Sasquatch. How much fun would you have running around the woods with Sasquatch? Oh, you'd be best friends with the Squatch. As a Northwesterner, this is kind of everybody's like dream. So number 5, Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. I'll put an image of him up here somewhere so you can see. Number 4, the water horse from the movie. I think it's called Water Horse. It's the friggin' Loch Ness Monster. You would have an amazing time going into the water. Like you could ride it across the sea. You could go in the ocean. You'd be totally protected. This would be sick. So number 4. Now, number 3 through 1, at some point I had all of these things occupying my top spot. Here's where it ended up. Number 3, Falcor from A Never Ending Story, that giant flying dog that's wisdom and has all this wisdom, and you could put your family on it and fly, and it would be pretty sick. Now, the reason why it's at 3 is I specifically remember it being like the scales on it. I haven't seen this movie in a while, being kind of gross, so I don't think I would want to be like the scales. Not my favorite. 3, but Falcor's still awesome. Not taking anything away from Falcor. Moving into number 2. This was a tough one. Buckbeak from Harry Potter. I like when the creature has a little bit of nastiness to it. I like when it shows that it can like kind of mess you up. So Buckbeak does that. Also, it can fly. That's amazing. Love this. This was like, I went back and forth with this one being number 1 for the longest time. But ultimately, what did I end up with as my top creature from cinema history that I'd want to befriend? The freaking unicorns from Death of a Unicorn, because they're amazing. They shred people. They've got this evilness to them, which, you know, I kind of like and respect, right? They also can bring you back to life. This is incredible. This is a once in a lifetime, see what I did there, opportunity. Well, you can come back to life and you would have an amazing time running through the woods. Now, my only question was, can you ride them? They didn't show that, so I'm going to assume that you can't, but still, just the fact that you have unicorn pals and they could bring you back to life in case you had any misadventures in the woods or wherever you go. Top of the list for a reason. Now, let me know if I'm right or wrong. What's your top creature from a movie that you could befriend following my arbitrary criteria that I made? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content coming from the Movie Spreadsheet.